Gokigenyo, Wade Willis here doing my breakdown, analysis, and theories video for Higurashi Go, and this is episode 20. And guys, this was probably my favorite episode of the season so far. There's tons of good ones, but this one really checked everything off a box of a fan. Major character and plot development, check. Humor, check. Fan service, absolutely check. And of course, huge reveal, check. This was fantastic start to finish. There was really no violence or anything like that in this. Well, not much violence. Not Higurashi violence, I should say. But yeah, before I go any further, guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'm doing reactions and breakdowns every single week for this show. And I'm also doing a Umineko playthrough. Shameless plug there, but you guys should check that out. Whether you're like huge fans of Umineko or if you're unfamiliar with Umineko, my playthrough, you can kind of follow along and get into the When They Cry universe even further. And yeah, guys, in this video, I'm going to do my like breakdown analysis of the episode. Things that I thought were important, and then in the second part I'm going to get into like theories and predictions and stuff, so I'll let you guys know when I get into that part. I can't really spoil anything from the original Higurashi anymore, but in case you just want to know the review part, I'm going to let you guys know once I go into theories and whatnot. We start off the episode with the Rika fan club. Now, I can't blame these girls. I'm a huge Rika fan as well, but it is really interesting seeing how, like, obsessed with Rika, like, every girl at the school is, and, like, just her saying hello to them, or should I say Gokigenyo, anytime she says something to someone, they're like, oh my gosh, like, she said something to me. It's like a rock star that, like, touched your hand or something, and then people won't wash their hands. It's, like, pretty over the top. Now, again, I'm a huge Rika fan, so I understand, but I can also see where this can kind of detach you from reality by having everyone be obsessed with you. It would make things very strange for you. And then we get sent back to reality by having Satoko really aggressively come at Rika and basically saying like Rika is being fake. This isn't real. Rika is trying to get Satoko out of this situation and herself, but be like, hey, like, let's talk later. I see you're upset. Rika really is being an adult in this situation, and Satoko is being pretty immature. Now, I do really understand where Satoko's coming from in this. Like, this would be very frustrating, and Satoko's bringing up, like, I've put myself through all that studying so you could reach your goal. Okay, well, the goal was to, like, yes, get into the school, but Rika wanted to go into high society. It wasn't just like, oh, I want to get into this school and then, like, slack off, and because I go to the school, I can do whatever I want. But, again, she did so much, like, Satoko didn't want to work hard or study, and she did that because she loves Rika, which you got to give it for Satoko, but at the same time, like, okay, you could also be, like, trying in the school and trying to, like, see the other side. Satoko is very, like, closed off and doesn't even want to try to assimilate into this world at all or grow at all. And believe me, I've been around, like, bougie prep school people before, and I understand, like, how Satoko feels in this situation, like, at this school. Like, for college, I went to, like, a super bougie private school, and I was like, in all my classes I was probably like the poorest person, although like I did embrace the school and everything, and I eventually learned that, oh, these people, yeah, they're like from a lot old money and stuff, but a lot of them are really nice, and they didn't like care that I was different than them, and once I was like open and like trying to learn about them, they wanted to learn about me as well. I mean, some of it may have been because I was on the wrestling team and stuff in college, but I don't know. It was just, I went through that experience, and instead of going at it like Satoko did, I went at it more like how Rika did, and I like loved the school once I got more into it. Rika actually stands up for Satoko once she leaves. Like her friends, um, the mean girls, they start talking crap about Satoko, and Rika's like, "Hey, she saved my life like 100 times," and kind of talks about how like she was amazing at traps and pranks and stuff. This comes back to bite Satoko in the butt, but she is standing up for her and asks them not to talk shit about Satoko, which was a big plus for me with Rika because she did kind of seem like a bit pompous in her exchange with Satoko, but when push came to shove, she did stand up for Satoko. And Rika in this situation just thinks, oh, Satoko's like in a bad mood. She's having trouble with some school. She'll be able to get out of this rut. Similar to how Satoko thought like Rika was going through phases in the last episode and she'll go back to how she was or whatever. Um, and both of them were wrong in this. Satoko thinks that, oh, if I prank her good, it's going to like knock some sense into her. Well, the prank goes horribly wrong, splits open a girl's head. In Satoko's defense, it did seem like everyone in Hanimazawa were like immortal when it came to pranks. Like you could have like 10-pound weight fall from the sky and someone's not even gonna like get a bloody nose. It was kind of crazy how some of that happened, but it did. I mean, that was like 3 stories high that she dropped those pots. Like you can't. I mean, I felt bad for her, and at the same time, I'm like, I mean, just physics, you have to know. It's probably not a good idea. Then Satoko's like put in a prison, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, there's all these cells, and I'm like, I thought we were gonna get to see like who else may be in that prison as well, but we didn't get a reveal. Like, I was thinking maybe there was gonna be a witch in the cell next to her, and they're gonna be like homies, and that's how we kind of get the looping. I was wrong though. The teacher says that someone kind of like said that Satoko was good at traps. She thinks Rika's the only person that knows this. However, Rika did lie for Satoko. She knew it was her, but this makes Satoko kind of go in a rage and she wishes she could go back to the old times, wishes she didn't go forward with all this stuff. So we see how the drive for her to go back in time is extremely strong in her. And we're like getting these pieces and we're like, okay, makes sense that Satoko would become a looper and go about, trying to teach Rika a lesson. And then we get our little like slice of life portion. They have a game club reunion. We get to see Mion, Reina, Keiichi. Like it was awesome. It was so fun to see them play games. They were playing cards with those old school cards that had the marks on them. And they kind of reference like, oh yeah, everything goes. And as this is going on, this is making Satoko even get like feel more like wishing like the old times were still around because she sees Rika start to act like her old self again, and she's like, oh my gosh, I miss this so much. Like I just want it to be like how it was. And it's like super fun. They're like doling out the punishments and all of that stuff. Loved it. A really nice break for us. I mean, it's been pretty depressing or like intense a lot of this second half of the show, and we got like a good little fun break where they're pranking each other. Mion has to get in a swimsuit. We have Rika doing the cat thing again, and then Keiichi has to wear all of them. I was disappointed we didn't get to see Keiichi wearing doing all the punishments. I thought that would have been really funny, but maybe it'll be in the next episode. They'll show it or something. And then we have Satoko. She wants to go on a walk around the town and kind of reminisce while everyone else goes to Angel Mort. And she's going to let them know when she's ready. Of course, all of us know she's eventually going to go into the shrine. I think all of us predicted that point. And then she like touches the statue. It crumbles. A horn comes out. Then there's a lot of psychedelic stuff kind of going on in here. She presses the horn and then gets transported. And I can't remember what they call it in this. I just call it the world between worlds like in Star Wars. But she's transported there. Initially, my reaction, I was like, wait, is that like Hanyu who like went through puberty? Like what's going on here? And then I remembered that people were talking about the statue and stuff in my comments before, and they were mentioning some like god or entity named Feathering. Typed in Feathering in Google, that's who it is in this. And I just stopped looking there because I didn't want to see anything else about Feathering, because I'm playing Umineko and I know that she's involved in that. But yeah, guys, great episode, huge reveal. A lot of you guys were right in predicting that Feathering was going to be involved. I didn't think that because I had no idea who Feathering was. From now on, I'm going to go into like my theories and predictions part of the video. So if you only wanted to see my review, go ahead and turn off now. First prediction is kind of the obvious one, that Feathering is Satoko's partner in crime, and it seems like this is probably going to be real. She teams up with Satoko, or Satoko maybe loves Rika too much to want to go about things maybe the way Feathering wants, and Feathering perhaps possesses Satoko. Again, I don't know Feathering's full powers. You guys have told me in the comments that she's like the strongest witch of all of them. And in Umineko, I've seen how strong Beatrice is, not even at her full power, so I'm a bit frightened to see how OP Feathering is. But I digress. Yeah, so there's kind of that option. That's the obvious one. I just wanted to get that one kind of out of the way. Two, this is something I'm feeling like pretty strongly about. To my knowledge, Satoshi is the only person who didn't recover from the Hanimizawa syndrome. Like everyone else in the town did. He was still in a coma last I saw. He hasn't been mentioned since we've moved forward in time. I have a strong feeling that he's either being possessed by something right now, and that's why he's in a coma. Something's up with him, but he's going to be a major role that goes on the side of Rika to help, get Satoko back on the good side. And they're really going to need someone to help switch Satoko over. If Feathering is on the other side with Satoko, and Hanyu is willing to join Rika again, they're gonna need something to flip the scales over, because Hanyu is extremely weak right now. She might have almost no powers right now. And Feathering, according to you guys, is like the strongest witch. There's no way they're gonna be able to make it out of this, like, okay, unless Feathering just gets bored. So I think Satoshi could be kind of an X factor, especially if he is maybe possessed or has some other witch that's like infatuated with him or something, to join their side. Next theory is that maybe Satoshi doesn't join. Again, I think it's going to be very important because it's weird that he's the only person that didn't heal. But here's another one, and Satoshi could join him, and this could still happen, and that's that Rika turns into Bernkastel. I think there's a really good chance of this, especially since, like in Higurashi Ray, I believe it's said that she turned into Bernkastel during that experience. So I think she's going to have to turn into Burn, or Burn is going to have to get involved in some way to really help them out. That's like one of the most logical picks for a witch to kind of join in here. Again, I haven't finished Umineko, but Beatrice coming in could be a factor as well. Possibly, again, don't spoil anything from Umineko, but she's strong as hell. I could see her maybe come in, or maybe one of the other witches, Lambda Delta. I haven't even seen her in Umineko. I just know she exists. So I think there could be an option with just at the end, like a witch battle royale, and maybe somehow that helps transition something into a Umineko remake, or we just go over into that world from this. That's a big possibility. I think they're going to try to tie in Umineko in a major way, either with a crossover between the two, Higurashi and Umineko. There's a new show or something, or just maybe they're going to reboot Umineko, the anime, and do it correctly, because everyone's told me that anime is absolute dog crap. But for me, my favorite one would just be a Witches Royal Rumble. I think a lot of you guys would be big fans of that. We don't have that many episodes though, so I'm kind of like, I don't know how they could do that in a way that would be cohesive, but maybe it'll set up something else next year. That would be awesome. And then kind of the last thing is that all this stuff with Satoko could just be a red herring. I wouldn't be surprised if uh, that's done and maybe someone else in the group is actually like the person that's teaming up with a witch. I think it could either be Mion or Reina. And there's like a lot of evidence to kind of support that. There's some fishy stuff that happened in some of those previous arcs where like we don't necessarily know where they were, or the stories behind things that happened to them are a bit fishy. So I could see the whole Satoko thing being a red herring. Kind of doubt it though, just with how they've set all of this up. It would be funny if they did that, but again, I kind of feel like it's one of the other options I've listed already. And those of you that have like read the Higurashi visual novel, let me know in the comments if Feathering is in the Higurashi visual novel. I know she's in Umineko, so you don't have to say that, but let us know if she's in the visual novel, because I don't think she's in the anime at all, but I'm like fairly certain she's not in the anime. So yeah, let us know if she's in the Higurashi visual novel or just in Umineko. I think that would be good for us to know. And yeah, let me know your theories in the comments below. If it's like something that's a spoiler for Umineko, just like put Umineko spoiler, and like I'm personally not going to read it since I'm doing that playthrough right now. But if it's not a Umineko spoiler, I will, you guys know I'm going to read and probably comment on almost all of them. I generally try to get to all of you guys. And if there's some interesting theory that I haven't thought of, I'll have it in the next video if it's still relevant. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought in the comments below.